Okay, so here today we are going to create the DXF file used for video 2 when using syntax. So pretty much what we want to do is, so for the syntax analysis to occur, it needs to read between the lines of the file. So we need to give it a vector file that it's able to read. You may already have a file that you can use, but for this we're going to use Swinburne University. And a way that you can publicly gain a file of, so we need the outlines of the buildings. So the way we can use that is by going to cadmapper.com. This is an open source website. It will be able to give us a 3D model of Swinburne University, but we're going to use that for the lines. So you can simply look up the location here. So we've got Swinburne University and it's brought us up with the area. There's near Glenferrie, and then it's also given us this pointer that allows us to select the area. So what we can do is basically we want to try and get this block in there, as well as a little bit of more of the surroundings. So all you simply have to do is tap and then pull, and we'll take about there, and you can go ahead and edit the lines, which we will do, and make it a bit more accurate. There you go. Once you select it, you can anything up to 100 kilometers, then you have to purchase it. Sorry, anything up to 1 kilometer, but this isn't very far, so we can create the file. So it's given us an option to download. I will just go back and show you. It also has topography, and we've got data of buildings up to 3 meters. That is fine because we don't actually need the height of the buildings for this exercise. So, and then Rhino 5 and above is what we need. You can get Illustrator, but we just want to keep the scale, and Rhino is a good way to practice. There we go. So we'll just load again, and then we want to download this file, and then it will give us a zip. From here we can just open the file, and then extract it just to somewhere we'll be able to find it for later. Here will be fine. Extract. Great. And then we can go ahead and find that file. Up in Rhino. Great, so here we go. This is the site. If we go up here, we can change it to shaded, so it's a little bit easier to read, and there you go, we've got the buildings as well. But what we can do for this is, through our layers on the side, we can hide the contours, the topography. We'll keep the outlines and we'll keep the park, but then we're going to go into top view here, where you can see we have all the other context, but pretty much we just need this area here running between William Street and Glenferrie. this part is very important because we're only going to want to keep these building footprints and not these lines. So if we wanted, we could definitely turn them off and just keep on the railway, because there is parts of the railway that we will need to adjust as there is areas to walk through, such as this area here. The area we are analysing is that there's actually like a walkway and this acts as a bridge, so we will need to make some cuts. I'd recommend knowing your site and knowing its access points, as this syntax map aims to display areas through, it uses connection points. So with things like that, you can simply just use your curve icon up here and draw some lines to then be able to trim out this area. So if you select, type in trim, we can then trim that area so it will read as one open space. And there is also some other areas where we will have to do the same, such as through here. So with this access point through here, before we cut through it, we're going to make 2D. But because we want to keep this perimeter, what I would recommend doing is grabbing your polyline tool again, and as best you can, for it will snap, you will be able to create your own border. This will be super important. Just creating some defiant edges for our map. You just want to be going like this, and then straight up and let them meet. If it does need to be adjusted later, that is fine. So we'll just redo that so they meet. Great. So basically anything then outside of this line, you can go ahead and select and delete. We'll do this first. For areas like this, what I recommend, select, trim, and you can, for these areas here that intersect with the train line, you can just select and trim, and then select the lines you would like to get rid of. So that is fine for now. We'll also do the same on this side. Great. And then I'm just going to go ahead and get rid of the rest of the surrounding context, and then we'll come back for the next step. Great, so there we go. Deleted all the surrounding context that we don't need. What I'm also going to do is just get rid of the lines in here, just to make it a little less bulky. Great. So now that we have just our base map, we're going to want to align it and take it from its true north, just to for the syntax reader. So we can draw a line using polyline that is completely straight, and then we can select the object we want to rotate, and then if you type in orientate and then select the point to the left and then the point to the right, and then we can tap on the start of this polyline and the end of it, and there we go, that will line it up for us. We can delete that line now and make 2D. This will give us our polylines. So there we go. Doing that, we just press OK, and then here you go. This has given us lines that we can then use in our syntax. Oh, I also have just seen we will have to trim up here, so you'll just need to go ahead and do that. Great, and then I would recommend just going through your site and just making sure you've got all the access points you need. And then from here, you may find also it's not exactly straight, so you can grab this tool, the rectangular tool, and just go corner to corner and then delete the other one. So there you go. It is okay, I understand parts in here aren't exactly straight, but it will still work. It just needs to be better than what it was. So then we can go ahead and select File, Export selected, save it wherever you need, and then we are going to save it here as a DXF file. Perfect, give it any name, we'll say Swinburne, right. And there you go. Now head to part 2 to watch how to use this, just OK, and then in part 2 I'll show you how we can use this to run the analysis. Thank you very much.